All right, how we doing this morning? So we're gonna do a little multitasking as I replace this, which it doesn't need to be replaced. I just want to wash it. I'm gonna put a new one on, and I'm gonna tell you what this is. But we're gonna be talking about what happened last night on my YouTube channel. Last night I did my typical Sunday night chat, and I kind of addressed the video I had done where I talked about my thoughts on the debate, and I talked to some of the comments there, and the whole bunch of stuff. I was reviewing it myself on my channel because I don't often watch my videos before I post them. And as you guys know, if you don't know, you're about to know, I'm unscripted, off the cuff. I never know exactly what it is I'm going to say. And I was watching it, and I went to look for something because I wanted to start putting information in the description box, which look at last night's Sunday night chat video and go to the description box. There's some good information in there for you, some links, the quote by Teddy Roosevelt, all of that. Excuse me. So that's what I was looking for. All of a sudden, when I went back, the screen was black and it said that the video had been taken down. So I went through all that process, and it turns out that I made a comment that went against the guidelines, the YouTube guidelines. So, um, I don't know what it is right at first. So I start looking, and they show you my video, and it takes you right to the spot. And so basically, what it was they were accusing me of medical information, that I put out medical information that's untrue. Independent fact checkers. Now I have to tell you what I said in a way that's not going to get this video taken down, because the video wasn't about that. What it was about was a bunch of other stuff I just happened to mention. So I was talking about the part that they didn't like was I spoke about the boy, how do I put this? The serum that they've been pumping into people after that thing that happened, that they tried to convince everybody was a bigger thing than it actually was, and I kind of went into all that. And look, I'm not a doctor, right? Nobody should be taking advice from me, any kind of medical advice. And while I'm not a doctor, I still know what a woman is. Got you on that one. And so I said, my own personal belief is that it isn't that thing that people were catching. It's the stuff that they're pumping into you that I believe can lead to problems. I think that weakens your immune system and all that, and kind of sets you up for more sickness and all that stuff. So that was the problem, and that this video might get taken down for the same reason. We'll find out. And that's all that was. So I went in, and I had I don't have editing capability like a lot of our favorite YouTubers. What I had to do was go into my phone, look at my video, find that timestamp, like where I said that, and save the video up to that point. That takes a while. The phone's doing it. And then I have to copy that and put it off to the side. Then I have to go back to the original video, and I have to go to that spot again just after I said what I said, and from there to the end, I've got to save that separately. Then I got to go back into the phone after that happens and take those two videos and put them together. I actually did it perfectly. It's basically look at the 55-minute mark, and right there within that minute is where I said what they didn't like. These are pack covers for combat, right? So you put this over your pack. It's supposed to keep most of the dust out of your gear. And this one here is what they call the 3-color camo, desert camo, which is I think they still use this. And this goes all the way back to the first Gulf War. They call this the chocolate chip. And I washed this because it had a stain on it, but it didn't wash the stain out. I think there's some printing in here. Yeah. So, let me get that on camera. I recommend last night's video, by the way. There's some interesting information. You know, if you want to know who truly rules over you, just discover who you can't criticize. Because what I said last night is verboten. Verboten. you, you can't say it. Now, everybody wants to criticize YouTube about this. I think, I don't think it's necessarily YouTube. I think that what's probably going on is that there's these bots out there that listen to words and pick up on things, and then that's what YouTube has to go by. Now you're going to say, well, you just said it's not YouTube. Well, if you think about who has the real power in this country, a lot of it's the drug companies, man. Big time corporations, military industrial complex corporations. They don't care so much. They feel like they've got it over on us. But if you say something that goes against it, you know, I mean, the drug corporations, they've got the biggest problem, because if this becomes accepted, like if enough of you fight against it and want the truth, and it comes out, well, then they're kind of liable, right, for a lot of the suffering and death and all that. And I think that that's kind of what they're afraid of, and that's the reason why they're so adamant and on top of information that they don't want people saying. I think it's a little weird going after me because, you know, I've got like 11,000 subscribers, and people aren't coming to me for that sort of information. And again, I'm not a doctor. You shouldn't be believing what I say. I tell you that all the time. What you should be doing is, if I say something that turns gear in your head, like maybe you don't agree with it, but maybe I say it in such a way where you're like, well, not such a bad guy, he does make sense, maybe I should look into this, then look into it. But again, I'm not a doctor. This is my belief. I saw my mom go through what she went through, and I'm seeing people who had those jabs and keep getting them, and I'm watching the health deteriorate, and I'm concerned about it. It bothers me, so that's why it comes up from time to time. Anyhow, this is a 32-inch tire. These pack covers fit on the tires, and I've also got a woodland camo, like the camo that we wore in the 80s. So like if I'm back east or up in the forest or something, maybe I'll put that on, right? So the beauty of changing these out once in a while is they'll last longer, and these are relatively inexpensive. You can still find them on eBay for about 10 bucks a pop. I'm going to probably buy a bunch more of these that'll last me for the rest of my life then. If I was to leave this on this tire for more time, eventually this would just, the sun would rot it apart. It'll just start tearing. So I'm going to go ahead and wash this one. I would recommend not putting these in a dryer just to be on the safe side. Wash them and then air dry them. And they make a pretty good cover. There we go. It says something right here on this one. Cover field pack. They call them field pack covers, but they also call them tire covers. So, but I think that's pretty cool. I think that looks pretty cool. What do I know? I know what cool is. All right, that's about it. Check this out behind you. I bought this. This is, it looks like the exact same one that my mom had when I was a little kid. It's this Nativity set. And it looks like exactly the same one that we had, that I grew up with. It's complete. It's got the 3 wise men. It's got the little, the bull. It's got the donkey. The donkey's ears are broken, which is a shame. I might be able to sculpt that up. They're all made in Italy. It's an Italian set. It's got the little baby Jesus and Joseph and Mary, and the kid with the sheep on his shoulders there. And I saw it, yeah. And what I'll do is I might restore this and replace these grass pieces. It's busted up here because people always picked it up from this point, so they just broke the grass here. So I think what I can do is kind of restore it a bit, make it cooler. This nail is popped out here. I got to tap this nail back in place. So maybe I'll do a little restoration on this. Maybe I'll even try to fix the parts or find some replacements. And while I'm not a super religious guy, I believe in Jesus and God and everything, and I know that He existed, and I think it's a fun story, and I think this is important. I mean, Christmas, we're celebrating the birth of Jesus, right? And that's coming up, and I thought, well, that's kind of, I just saw it, and it being complete like that, I thought to myself, you know what? I'll have the house in Arizona, and every Christmas I'll set this thing up. Who knows? Maybe I'll even rig a little tiny LED light bulb up in here or something and illuminate it and make it that much cooler. That's it for now. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. Watch last night's video. I'll put a link to it in this description later. And I'll catch you in the next one. Be kind to one another.